So guys, today we're going to be rebuilding an Immortalizer rebuildable drip atomizer with cotton. That's right. So what we've got here, I've got all my, my supplies here. I've got my ribbon wire. I only use ribbon wire on drip atomizers. And the only thing I use to build drip atomizers is ribbon wire. I have no idea what that is. I like 30 gauge on everything else, just drippers. I like ribbon wire, and we're going to be doing this with cotton. So I just finished building it with cotton. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it apart, and then I'm going to rebuild it so you guys can see how that's done. The Immortalizer, rebuildable dripper. You've seen it around. You know that it exists. A lot of people have them. A lot of people like them. High-end drip atomizer. This is what I have found about the Immortalizer. I've been using it for a couple days now. It's one of the 3 that I've been keeping in rotation. I always have 3 mods in rotation. Right now I've got a K-Fun, Megatron, and the Immortalizer in my rotation now. And I've just started cycling in the Steam Boy. But that's going to take some work to get that going where I'm pleased with it. So we're going to be talking about the Immortalizer today. And part of the reason I'm doing this video is I want to show you guys how to build a cotton one on it. I thought about it a long time before I started doing it. I said, well, I wonder how this is going to work. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to put on some tunes here so you can, we can get a little background sound to our building here. All right. First thing I'm going to do is just put my base on here. If you don't have one of these make your life so much easier when you're building. They're like $2. Several sites carry them. Highly, highly, highly worth it. Now, there are 2 sleeves on the Immortalizer. The first is this top one that screws in clockwise, out counterclockwise. So we're going to go ahead and unscrew that and pull it out. That's our inner sleeve. That's where you're going to see your serial number and the ChiefVapers logo. We'll set that off to the side. And the next piece we have is the outer sleeve, and this is reverse threaded. So we're going to actually turn that clockwise to unscrew it, take it out, and you can see I've got my previous cotton set up on there. Long story short, this build took about 20 minutes. It had nothing to do with the build. It had to do with, we're not even going to go there. So I'm just going to angle this down so you can see what we've got going on. So the first thing I'm going to do, take my little screwdriver, and we're going to take out this old build. If you don't already have tweezers in your toolkit, definitely get them. Now, a lot of people like to boil their old wicks and things like that to get more life out of them. This stuff, guys, really, the amount of money you're going to save by reusing your wick is not even enough to make it worth it. So I'm just going to toss this, even though I probably got about 10 pulls on that, and then I'm remaking the video. Guys, that are, I mean, if it makes you feel better to boil your wicks or rinse your wicks in vodka or whatever, by all means go for it. I'm not here to tell you how to vape. I'm just saying, the stuff doesn't cost that much. You're saving pennies by doing that. Alright, so we've got our cotton here, and this is actually more cotton than we're going to need. You really don't need much cotton at all to build a wick. We've got our ribbon wire. I'm going to go ahead and cut off a piece of the ribbon wire to start the coil. Now, with cotton, I've found, I do freehand on most of my wraps, whether it's silica, stainless steel, whatever. I just get better coils from freehand. Cotton is not the case. So I'll take my little screwdriver here. We're going to do a 3-4 wrap, which should give us about 1 ohm. So 1, 2, 3. Now, one of the things that you'll notice doing this is I've got my leads going opposite directions. just like I'm building a K-fun. And the reason for that is if we look at the base on here, it is much like a K-fun. We've got our air holes in the bottom. Now you can see each of these grooves right here. We've got a groove here, we've got a groove here, and we've got a groove here. Those are our airflow channels. They're going in the bottom and coming out through the center right there. And on our outer sleeve, we've actually got 2 air holes as well. One here and one on the other side. It's going to go in those holes down through the bottom and in through, up through those bottoms right underneath the coil. So one of the things you'll notice about this, okay, one of the things about the Immortalizer is you're not chasing clouds with this. It is a wonderful flavor machine. You can get some solid vape out of it. It's not what it's about. This has got a ceramic base. It doesn't get hot. You can vape this all day long, and it's not going to, feel like you're going to blow yourself up. Okay, so we're going to take our coil here. I'm just going to bring it down in here. The way that this works, you slide your wire through the little slot and screw down your screw. It's very simple. Now I'm going to take my other lead. I'm going to grab that with my index and thumb, my other hand. And again, I'm just going to slide it, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. We've got a little groove right there. Take my tweezers, slide it right into there, and screw it down. I want to get this a little bit closer, so I'm going to push this over a little bit, and then I'm going to screw it down. And I missed that. And you know what? I'm actually glad that that happened, because one of the things I think everybody should know is when you're building a coil and if you're expecting nothing to go wrong, you've kind of, especially if you're a new vapor or you're new to rebuildables, things go wrong. Nothing goes perfect. And that's for your well-experienced vapors, your new vapors, everybody. We all have problems that go in through this. So don't get discouraged if you're having trouble building a coil. Don't get discouraged if things go wrong. It's a process, and the more you do it and the more practice you get, the fewer issues you'll have and the quicker you can build things. But it's not going to be 100%. Alright, got that. Now we'll finish tightening it up. And we've got our coil. Not the prettiest coil, but solid little coil. We'll trim off the excess from the leads. Now we're going to check our ohms. You always want to know your ohms. It's always, always, always know your ohms. .01. Put this right back on our base. Alright, now the way that I typically thread my cotton, I'll just take a little bit of whatever wire I have laying around, you know, just little like pieces of it from clipping edges, and I'll make a little hook. A little cat hair there. Alright, and this is all we're going to need, just this little bit of cotton here. Okay. We'll hook it. And we're just going to thread it right through those coils. There we go. We got our nice little cotton wick right there. Okay. We'll take a little juice. I've been dripping this Papa from Flavors by Joe. Just going to get a little bit on there just to get that coil wet, and I'll drip a little bit more once we get the sleeves back on there. 2 should be sufficient. I'll do 1 more for good measure. Alright. I'm going to fold these up just to get those sleeves on there. Put on our outer sleeve first. Remember, that's reverse threaded, so we're going to go counterclockwise to get that in there. And then we're going to take our our inner here. Now you may need some tweezers just to kind of make sure this goes smoothly. I'm going to slide that in there, and then before I screw it down, I'm going to take my tweezers and just kind of pull that wick away from the side so it doesn't get down there in the threading. That out. And I'm just going to use my tweezers. You're not really going to be able to see this, but just to kind of fold it up around there over the coil. Get a couple drops in there. A couple drops in there. Now we'll go ahead and throw it on our mod here. There we go. And we got a good little solid vape. It's going to take a little while to get that coil broken in, but we're getting good vapor production, good flavor, and that's the Immortalizer built with cotton. Have a good one, guys. Peace.